Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Selangor Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel with you here, your latest on a Thursday. Be weather aware yet as I'm timing 3 more chances of rain for the next 3 days. Our best chance and risk of heavy and excessive rain leading to flooding or flash flooding, that'll be today. Flood watches are out in some northern areas of the state, locations like Parkersburg, Clarksburg, Morgantown, the northern panhandle of a flood watch until 2 p.m. But other areas, too, will have potentially some locally higher amounts of rain, as we have a couple areas of low pressure nearby, an incoming front near stationary at times that interacts with some of the high terrain. So some of the foothills and higher elevations, some locally higher amounts of rain are possible, too. There's a broad stroke of a marginal risk for the entire state of excessive rain. That's for local flash flooding. That is a possibility. And then some southeastern areas Friday and Friday night, a marginal risk for tomorrow. Also a marginal risk of some isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds in some eastern areas can't be ruled out later today. We had some very heavy rain last night in areas of Ohio and Indianapolis. This heavy moisture with our slowly moving front near stationary times will take about 2 days to work through the area. Then another cold front on Saturday, then we're in the clear on Sunday. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. Areas to our southeast, still some issues with heat and rain and storms. Tampa near 94 today. They had a daily record 97 yesterday. Northern areas, flood watch until 2 p.m. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms later in the afternoon. Isolated damaging winds and flash flooding can't be ruled out. Northern areas, again, cities like Parkersburg, among others, have that flood watch until 2 p.m. For our southern areas, still watching for a risk of excessive rain, too. Showers are likely with that chance of thunderstorms as well. Chance of general thunderstorms Friday, another cold front on Saturday, and then a stretch of some drier weather. How about that? 79 on Sunday, 80 Monday, back up near 86 by Wednesday.
This is Ben Selangor with Selangor Law. Selangor Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Selangor Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Selangor Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at selangorlaw.com.
Good morning, it's MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios, and we're underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the MetroNews Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is MetroNews Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check chat lineup link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Good morning, welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown, TJ's in Charleston. The rest of the gang's here as well. Jake Link handles the video stream if you're watching on the MetroNews TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube. Say good morning to our great radio affiliates all around the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you letting us be part of your day. You can be part of the program. Give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Text the show, 304-TALK-304. That's 304-825-5304, just in case you were wondering. Coming up a little bit later on, Hoppy stops by. We'll get into socialism, or at least the appeal of it, with Hoppy coming up second hour. Friend of the program, haven't had him on in a while, Matt Lewis will join us in the second hour. We'll check in on the WVRC Cares for Kids Radiothon today as well. 800-765-TALK, 304-TALK-304. Mr. Meadows is in Charleston, and is that a tear in your eye this morning, TJ?
A tear in my eye.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what you could be talking about.
Oh, I have 40 trillion guesses why there might be a tear in your eye this morning. Holy moly, we just hit 39 trillion. National debt, 40 trillion. Go.
We added $5 trillion to the debt in 2 years. I can't even comprehend the insanity of that and why our leaders do not understand the brink that they are pushing us to. We talk about Iran, we talk about Russia, North Korea, China, and we should talk about all of those adversaries and the geopolitical problems and the impacts that they could have on our national security. We're going to destroy ourselves before they ever get the chance. We're going to go bankrupt. It's completely insane. But
As we have talked about before, and you know what, we'll bait Hoppy. We'll rage bait Hoppy. I think that's what the kids call it these days, TJ.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
When we get him. But it's one of those things, it's not a, you know how politicians are. It's not a problem until it is. You can say it's a problem. You can say we need to address it. But until the roof is actually crashing on your head, politicians are slow to react. Why? They want to get elected.
Yeah.
It's not and you know what? That's a totally unsatisfying answer, but that's the only one I can see to justify why we're in the position we're in. You want to get elected? Well, I'm not going to touch Social Security. I'm not going to touch Medicare. I'm not going to touch Medicaid. I'm not going to touch military spending. Well, that's what? 95% of the I overestimate there. But that's the largest chunk of the reason we're in the trouble we're in right at the moment.
Yeah, most Americans are living their lives. They're trying to, get to the end of the month, pay their bills, get their kids to school and whatever activity. Mm-hmm. And I totally understand that. And that is a challenge. Let me tell you, having to juggle 3 kids, I get it. That is a challenge. I try to put this into context, though, that maybe people will understand. I felt like in 2008, when the market was just plummeting based on the housing crisis and we were losing billions and trillions in value and people's 401ks were being hit as hard as they've ever been hit. I feel like people were maybe waking up for just a second to see how the financial system was unraveling. If we wake up one morning and we can't get people to buy our treasuries and we can't refinance our debt and the interest rate is so high that we wouldn't be able to afford anything else. And by the way, we're getting to over $1 trillion in interest now every year annually that we have to come up with. So by default, we're going to run a deficit. That will make 2008 look like brunch at the country club. 2008 was nothing compared to what this will be. I mean, we've got to get serious about this.
We're going to get Brad McElhinny on a couple of different things, but do you think part of the issue, TJ, is we just have no collective idea of the kind of trouble we are headed toward? Our grandparents, they were not far removed from the stock market crash. They knew what 1929 was like, or if they didn't, their parents certainly did. Or their grandparents lived through it and had to do the soup lines, and there were no jobs. And we know about it, but we really don't know about it, if that statement makes any sort of sense at all.
I think that's part of it. I also think many of us have been hoodwinked into the idea that it doesn't matter. It's paper money. It's made up. We owe a lot of it to ourselves. Well, the people that are owed the money are going to demand payment. And if they can't get it, the economy, there will be macroeconomic effects that hit us all, regardless of who owns the debt. It's a commodity. It has to be transacted. So I think you're spot on with that. People don't understand. We don't teach basic economics, basic spending in schools. We didn't have to live through the Depression, to your point. And sometimes it takes a little slap on the cheek, right, to wake people up. And I would have thought 2008 could have done that, but I guess not, because here we are. And there will be a reckoning. I hope we get back on the straight and narrow, but at some point there will be a reckoning. It's just a matter of when that will be.
304-TALK, 304, that's text line 800-765-8255. Hoppy and Matt Lewis, conservative columnist. I bet he's got something to say about it. Will join us in the second hour. Yesterday, Governor Morrisey was in Raleigh County, specifically Beckley, and highlighted a priority of $145 million in state funds for water infrastructure projects. He says that could also unlock an additional $450 million in federal private matching dollars. Brad McElhinny, MetroNews statewide correspondent, joins us on Talkline this morning. Hi, Brad.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
Sorry you had to sit through our $40 trillion rant there. We appreciate your patience. Thank you very much.
Quite all right. It's a big deal. It's a BFD.
Indeed it is. Threw me off there. Wasn't expecting that, Brad. Governor Morrisey down in Raleigh County yesterday. Look, we've been talking about, maybe not enough, about the water situation, specifically in southern West Virginia, but this has been one of the priorities, infrastructure and those core infrastructure priorities. Governor Morrisey has touted through the first 2 years of his administration, and yesterday had the $145 million announcement.
Mm-hmm. And big buildup by the governor on his social media earlier this week. He said, get ready for a huge, all capitals, HUGE, huge announcement in Beckley. He said, one of the biggest during my tenure in office. And it turned out to be this water infrastructure priority announcement that followed on the heels of a 2-day tour of southern West Virginia, a water listening tour a couple of weeks ago. Water infrastructure is indeed a significant issue in rural parts of the state, southern West Virginia in particular. Sort of heard a lot of background noise about water quality during the most recent legislative session from citizens who would show up, or some members of the legislature. So, I think credit to the governor for identifying and highlighting a significant issue in West Virginia. He did describe a priority of dedicating $145 million in state funds for water infrastructure projects throughout the remainder of his initial 4-year term in office, saying that would then unlock an additional $450 million or so in federal and private matching dollars. Other related things, he described partnerships with West Virginia University and Marshall on this issue, described a strategy of shifting funding decisions to focus on need, not necessarily political clout, saying that top priority will be given to systems with boil water orders, failing systems, public health concerns, and serious financial distress. And then finally, he described coming up with a better public dashboard to track water funding applications and project status. I will say, this is a developing issue, but there were elements of what the governor described that I don't, frankly, just between me and Dave and TJ, don't quite have a handle on it yet. The $145 million, I am not clear on where that is coming from, whether it was already millions of dollars that were inflow earmarked and the governor was identifying and highlighting them. If it's 145 million new dollars, if so, where does that come from? And then, TBD on where that money will specifically be directed.
Brad, I'm just a simpleton, but if you're going to do $145 million in CapEx, you tend to want to have the money secured, know where it's at, and be able to tell people where it's coming from before you do it. So I think you're onto something there. I'd like to understand that as well. The other issue I struggle with, I'm unclear as to what that would really get us. How far does $145 million go? I mean, that'll certainly get Dave his mountaintop retreat in Tucker County, and he'll have a little left over. But I don't know how many public water systems that's going to buy and what it will do.
A sense of scale will be really helpful here. Governor, If you're there, come on MetroNews Talkline. We got questions for you. Good reporting from West Virginia Watch's Katie Coyne, who has focused on water infrastructure issues in West Virginia for years. She's probably reported on this particular element of West Virginia challenges for a decade. And so in her story, she cites a 2023 statewide needs assessment survey from the Infrastructure and Jobs Development Council. So a statewide needs survey, but it says, bottom line, nearly $18 million is needed to upkeep and rehabilitate the state's existing water and sewage infrastructure, as well as to expand water and sewage service to all structures in the state. $18 million. So the governor's talking about, or $18 billion. Sorry, $18 billion. The governor's talking about $145 million with the leverage of a federal and private match. More of that, Katie Coyne reporting. About 64,000 West Virginians are not connected to a centralized water service, while almost 254,000 residents go without sewage service. So the need is great. The governor has identified it. I think he deserves some credit for highlighting the problem, but certainly questions about where's this money coming from and how far really will it go?
Just to add this thought, guys, when we talk about this situation, it's one of those where it's been neglected for not just a couple of years or 3 years. We're talking about water systems in some of these small towns that were probably built when the town was built that have been neglected. The local PSDs have not done their due diligence to keep up with the maintenance that are required. There are a lot of things at play here, but this is years of neglect that now you're trying to address. And like Katie points out in her reporting there, Brad, $18 billion. That is a huge, huge chunk to even try to address these issues that are throughout the southern coal fields, southern counties, and up into the mountain counties as well.
For sure. And I mean, what the governor said about a new approach to funding decisions related to what you just said, he's talking about not relying on political clout to make those decisions, not necessarily allocating money to the squeakiest wheel, but instead giving top priority to systems with boil water orders, failing systems, those with public health concerns and serious financial distress. I'd like to know more about, does that describe systems where communities or the water entity in the location has let the system fail? And just there's the governor's description of a new way of allocating funds accidentally reward the kind of failure that's been in place in some places. I'd like to see more about that too.
I think his heart's in the right place. We want to get people water. 145 million, maybe a drop in the bucket, but it ain't nothing. It's a move in the right direction with a federal match. So $500 million. Kudos for all of that. Dave, you hit on it. A lot of these systems were built, but you didn't have a customer base that could maintain them. And again, we're talking about symptoms now. Water's the symptom. The problem is people. You're not going to get more people in necessarily without some kind of other economic driver to get people to locate to these systems and these places where the systems are in poor condition. So they're just going to deteriorate again. And you're going to end up right back in the same boat asking yourself the same question. So if our funds are limited, is $145 million better spent? And again, this is not going to be popular. Trying to get people to relocate to areas where we can finally get some economic density and build infrastructure to a single location rather than going everywhere and knowing that we can't maintain it. We just can't be as spread out anymore because we just don't have the money to do it. And so heart's in the right place. I think we need a more comprehensive plan to figure out how we don't end up right back where we're starting.
You're right. People aren't going to move.
Yeah.
People aren't going to move.
I get it.
And I don't know if there's some sort of, you're talking economies of scale here again. Rather than having a whole bunch of individual PSDs, if you have one larger entity that manages an entire county versus having, the Wilson, I don't want to call out any towns, the Wilsonville PSD and the Meadowsville PSD and the Brad McElhinny City PSD. Maybe we need to start looking at something more consolidating those services rather than trying to get people to move. And look, hey, if you want to live on a mountaintop, you want to have spring or well water, that's also a choice. That is a choice that you make. If you want to live up, in your palatial estate in Tucker County on the mountaintop, cut off from the grid, not naming anybody specifically. So read Brad McElhinny's story, WVMetroNews.com. Hey, Brad, quickly, a couple of other news and notes. We got an update yesterday. Former Delegate Elliot Pritt, he has now been indicted by the federal grand jury, so that case is moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't hear a lot about the charges against him. We did hear an outline of the allegations, but now a federal grand jury has indicted him on 3 felonies. The significance of the grand jury is that, that's a group of citizens who made the determination that there's enough evidence to go ahead with these charges and to move him toward a potential trial. So the charges are child sexual exploitation, coercion of a minor, and witness tampering, which seems to have to do with him trying to discourage her from talking to her family and authorities.
And finally, Brad, could we know something about the Greenbrier Casino license soonish?
Yeah, next week. That appears to be moving toward West Virginia Lottery's monthly meeting, which is set for next Wednesday. And the Greenbrier's casino status appears to be on the agenda. It sounds like there is going to be a closed-door session to discuss the status of the casino, along with legal representation for the Greenbrier, and then a decision made in open session about whether to renew the casino license under the newly reconstructed ownership, which now includes representatives of Kennedy Lewis Investment Management.
Metro News statewide correspondent Brad McElhinny. You can follow his work at wvmetronews.com. Brad, thank you. Appreciate it.
Hey, thanks.
Back in a moment. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
At WVU Medicine, innovation is redefining men's health. Our specialists use advanced techniques like no needle, no scalpel vasectomy, and cutting-edge procedures for infertility. We offer precise vasectomy reversals, targeted solutions for pain, and the latest in testosterone replacement therapy, all designed to improve outcomes and recovery. For appointments, call 855-WVU-CARE or visit wvumedicine.org/urology.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Some text, 304-TALK, 304. That is the text line. Texter says, Happy National Radio Day, guys. Well, thank you. I did not get you a card, though, Meadows. Sorry about that.
You're all right, buddy. You're okay. Leslie Rubin was in here from the Broadcasters Association asking people what they loved about radio. And I was just trying to be a smart aleck. I said, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm in it for the money.
Yeah, we're making that Dave Allen type money, buddy.
Yeah,
Let me tell you.
exactly. Yeah.
304 Talk 304. 40 trillion? Thanks, Obama. Let's go, Brandon. Did I say those slogans correctly? Is that how we own the libs? What fun. This has been the plan all along. Prove me wrong. So we're complaining about the national debt now? Question mark, exclamation mark. Really? The U.S. national debt grew from $28.43 trillion at the end of fiscal year 21 to $37.64 trillion at the end of fiscal year 25, according to the U.S. Treasury fiscal data. The texter lists the debt from 21 through 25. We've only had the show for like less than 2 years. And I think on about day 2, TJ brought up the national debt. We were busy day 1. I think that was day 2.
Ask around. I've been pestering people about this since I was like, I don't know, 19. I'm 46.
I believe that. Wholeheartedly, I believe that. Let's see, 304 Talk, 304. Not a challenge. I have no idea what they're even talking about. Who would have thought a con businessman with multiple bankruptcies and lawsuits for non-payment who developed a cult around social issues would be bad for the economy? I don't know. That was pretty hard to see coming. Kind of like how trains sneak up on cars at railroad crossings. Totally unexpected, says the texter. Coming up, we'll tell you about a new device that lets your heart communicate. We'll do that right after this. 800-765-TALK and 304-TALK 304. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News for 40 years, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30. Time to get a news update. Let's check in on the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel with you here, your latest on a Thursday. Be weather aware yet as I'm timing 3 more chances of rain for the next 3 days. Our best chance and risk of heavy and excessive rain leading to flooding or flash flooding, that'll be today. Flood watches are out in some northern areas of the state, locations like Parkersburg, Clarksburg, Morgantown, the northern panhandle have a flood watch until 2 p.m., but other areas too will have potentially some locally higher amounts of rain, as we have a couple areas of low pressure nearby, an incoming front near stationary at times that interacts with some of the high terrain. So some of the foothills and higher elevations, some locally higher amounts of rain are possible too. There's a broad stroke of a marginal risk for the entire state of excessive rain. That's for local flash flooding. That is a possibility. And then some southeastern areas Friday and Friday night, a marginal risk for tomorrow. Also a marginal risk of some isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds in some eastern areas can't be ruled out later today. We had some very heavy rain last night in areas of Ohio and Indianapolis. This heavy moisture with our slowly moving front near stationary times will take about 2 days to work through the area. Then another cold front on Saturday, then we're in the clear on Sunday. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. Areas to our southeast, still some issues with heat and rain and storms. Tampa near 94 today. They had a daily record 97 yesterday. Northern areas, flood watch until 2 p.m. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms later in the afternoon. Isolated damaging winds and flash flooding can't be ruled out. Northern areas, again, cities like Parkersburg, among others, have that flood watch until 2 p.m. For our southern areas, still watching for a risk of excessive rain, too. Showers are likely with that chance of thunderstorms as well. Chance of general thunderstorms Friday, another cold front on Saturday, and then a stretch of some drier weather. How about that? 79 on Sunday, 80 Monday, back up near 86 by Wednesday.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys.
Hey,
I don't know.
everybody. Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
More of your texts coming up. 304-TALK 304. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. Hoppy is back today. We'll talk to him coming up top of next hour. Intermed Labs and Vandalia Health have reached the final prototype phase for a cardiac communication platform that's been designed by Dr. Marc Dotson to streamline emergency heart attack care. The real-time mobile platform allows emergency medical services, emergency departments, and on-call cardiologists to securely share patient updates prior to hospital arrival. Well, you have my attention. Joining us this morning on MetroNews Talkline, the co-founder and managing member of Intermed Labs, Ashok Aggarwal, joining us this morning. Ashok, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
And we're trying to get connected with Dr. Dotson as well, but I gave kind of the overview of this device that's been in development. You're in the final prototype phase, but what could this do for patient care in a cardiac event where minutes and seconds matter?
This could be very game-changing and at a very minimum save lives, which is incredibly important to us. If you'd like, I could just kind of give you the backdrop for this problem. So, you can sort of imagine a clock ticking right now. And by the time I finish talking, someone will have died from a heart attack. So every 34 seconds, an American dies from a heart attack. And when a patient enters an emergency room with a massive cardiac event, doctors are essentially in a frantic 90-minute race against brain and muscle death. And right now, massive hospital networks use, of course, multi-million-dollar software from places like, Epic and Cerner, which are great tools, but these tools are used to alert doctors at times, but they have to log in, bypass security screens, dig through complex apps while a human heart is dying. And so our innovation essentially bypasses that systemic, call it bureaucracy for a moment, because innovation helps, cut through that noise. And with incredible efficiency and very, very cheap, we're able to extract this EKG data from machines and text into the people that need to know the information and get it to them in one click via text. So that's kind of what we do, and confident that, especially in rural communities like we have in West Virginia, this will save lives.
I was going to ask about the rural part of our landscape here and your technology's, dependence on communications infrastructure to be able to connect. Are there any concerns with that?
Well, when we're talking about this situation, EMS has already made it to somebody at this point. They've got a cardiac event, and at that point, they're getting an EKG monitor. What we're doing is taking that data from the EKG machine itself, and then getting it over to to the people that matter. So, even if for whatever reason they're out of even cell phone range, for example, even if they're just on the way towards the hospital, we're able to get that information to the people that need to know very, very quickly, much more quickly than they do today.
Well, we had Dr. Dotson, and I just saw the call dropped off. Talking about communication problems there, TJ. Okay. All right, we'll try to reconnect with him as well. Joining us is Ashok Aggarwal, co-founder and managing member of Intermed Labs. They have developed and have reached the final prototype phase for a cardiac communication platform Dr. Dotson designed. So, Ashok, Intermed Labs focuses on transforming these concepts into real-world tools. So what interested you when Dr. Dotson approached you with this concept and you said, boy, we've got something here?
I'll tell you that the number one thing that interested me, and I really do wish Dr. Dotson was able to be on to describe it, was when he expressed very plainly that, he wants to improve this particular process and reduce the time to react from hospital systems for his parents. He said, I just want to know that when my parents who live in a rural area, might possibly one day have an event, that I've done everything I can to reduce the times when I know there's a solution for it. And frankly, that was enough to get me hooked. We looked into it a little bit further and understood how complex and expensive implementing such a solution typically is in a hospital system. And we knew that we could use innovation to make that much cheaper and much faster.
All right,
that was my hook.
We finally got
Yeah,
Dr. Dotson connected here. Let's bring him into the conversation. Dr. Marc Dotson, emergency medicine physician at Vandalia Health, CAMC. Dr. Dotson, thank you for finally hanging on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, we're talking to Ashok Aggarwal there about the impetus for this device. So, it was mom and dad that kind of inspired you?
Yeah, I mean, just the thought of them being in a rural area, and they have a critical access hospital in the town they live in. But if they needed any type of intervention, they'd have to come to Charleston, which can be 30 to 40 minutes. So, I think to myself, if they deserve the best care, so does everyone else in the state. And so that's really the motivation behind this.
So, Doctor, a little birdie told me, like myself, you're a Boone County native. So right off the bat, I know you must be a great fellow. Let me just mention that.
Thank you. Yeah, that's correct. I grew up in the Twin Cities, Danville and Madison.
I understand. I know them well. When you are thinking outside of your parents, but you're in that clinical setting in the hospital, are there any instances that stand out in your mind that you say to yourself? Because I think every physician maybe has a place in the back of their mind where they think about those who they couldn't save. That you, in developing this, thought, man, if I'd have had it for this person or it would have been available for that person, it might have made the difference.
Yeah, I think seeing people who live hours away from the hospital who have very little access to health care come in with complications that are now chronic, that started from an acute issue. Anytime I see those patients, I always have that thought is, could we have done something more preventative? Or when they had an acute issue, could we have done better? I think that's, it's kind of always there in the forefront anytime you see people who come in who say that may be the first time they see a doctor in a decade. And so, yeah, it's a huge burden on the community.
Can you give us an idea, Dr. Dotson, what someone is suffering from a cardiac event, paramedics show up, they're in the ambulance, what's going on between point A and point B, and how will this device help the physicians waiting there at the emergency room be prepared when the patient arrives?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's not really there's not really a straightforward answer. So a lot of that really will depend on the crew, and what their level of training is, the access they have, the protocols, and the region that they're in. So we can just say, globally what happens is the patient calls with chest pain. The EMS arrives, runs a 12-lead EKG. That's considered the first medical contact. And once they get that EKG, they have to transmit it some way in their region to the cardiac center. For us, that's usually routed through MedBase, and then from MedBase down to the Memorial charge nurse, and then we're able to see the EKG. So there's a few steps that they have to take to get that EKG in front of a physician. Inherently, anytime you involve multiple human beings, there's going to be human error. And so the goal here is to kind of cut out the middleman and be able to get this from the field, first medical contact, straight to the emergency medicine physician, who can then forward it immediately to an on-call interventional cardiologist.
Ashok, let me bring you back into the conversation. So there's medicine meets innovation meets a business. Tell us about the journey to take this idea that Dr. Dotson has. I mean, do you sit down with a whiteboard and you guys start sketching out the process? How did it work?
Yeah, we follow a very robust and lengthy process. I'll try to hit some highlights. But first, Dr. Dotson comes to us with an idea. I would go further than an idea and say a real passion for making a change, improving the lives of people and or the workflow within a system or the work of a clinician. And at that point, we start to validate if that problem is real. We have several interviews. We talk to several people in cardiology and in emergency departments around the country through our networks and our medical advisors and our hospital administrators, as well as our medical device contacts, to validate that this is a real problem. And as you may imagine, everyone says, gosh, we'd love to shave minutes off this if you can find a way to do so. And then we do a feasibility analysis of first we identify solutions to that problem, and then identify if one of those solutions is feasible and would be attractive in the market. So again, lots of steps to the process, but at a high level, that's sort of how we start the process, and then we start building from there and testing and gaining evidence and taking it into the market. So
love it.
Yep.
It's innovation, and it's happening right here in West Virginia. Go ahead, Dr. Dotson. Did you have something to add?
No, sorry then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I heard a click. Innovation happening right here in West Virginia. The prototype in its final prototype stages, and will be coming to an emergency room and ambulance near you. I'm going to put you on the clock, guys. Coming to an ambulance near you. Dr. Marc Dotson, the emergency medicine physician at Vandalia Health CMAC, inventor of AMI, and Ashok Aggarwal, co-founder and managing member of Intermed Labs. Guys, thank you so much. Good luck as you continue to develop the new technology. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Coming up, 304 Talk 304. We'll get to some more of your text messages. We'll also check in on the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon. We'll do that next.
In West Virginia, community is everything. It's about showing up for each other. Vin Salengo and the team at Salengo Law don't just work here, they live here, proudly sponsoring local events and giving back to the neighborhoods they love. So when you're facing a serious injury, trust the local team that's always in your corner. They spent over 25 years fighting for West Virginia families. Salengo Law. Get results, not excuses. Visit us at salengolaw.com.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discovered tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniel's.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
The WVRC Media, our parent company, Cares for Kids Radiothon is underway, supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. Go to WVMetroNews.com. Got a banner right at the top of the page. You can help support the efforts over at WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is the Assistant Vice President, Marketing, Communications, and Public Relations at WVU Medicine. Marisa Sayre joins us this morning. Marisa, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
This has been a great partnership, and the level of care, often people think here in West Virginia, and it's a misconception, we got to go here, we got to go there, but the level of care in Morgantown at WVU Medicine Golisano Children's is right there with anybody else in the country.
Absolutely. Our team is delivering world-class care. And, you know, we never want you to need our hospital, but you never know when your child, your grandchild, neighbor, or someone you love may need us. And that's why it's so important to have world-class pediatric care close to home. And by giving today, you're helping ensure that exceptional care is here for every child who needs it.
So how's it going, Marisa? Are the phones ringing? What's our goal? What are we shooting for?
So we're shooting for the stars, and the phones have been ringing off the hook, and it's so cool, and that's why I love West Virginia so much, because it's neighbors helping neighbors. You know, every dollar counts, and you know, there's a lot of, I get questions all the time, you know, how do you know whether your gift is really making a difference? And I could tell you guys that it truly does. I see it here at the hospital every single day. You know, a lot of times when parents, families show up at our hospital doors, it's an emergency. They weren't expecting to be here, so they might have forgotten their phone charger, an extra pair of clothes. And thanks to supportive donors like your listeners here today, we're able to provide that extra comfort for those families. You know, up in our Hosptials Family Resource Center, we provide meals to families every day, snacks. We have a washer and dryer to help clean clothes for those families who are here and have an extended stay. Also, those phone chargers I missed. Taylor Stevenson, who leads our Family Resource Center and Children's Miracle Network, is just exceptional. Her and her team, they throw parties, birthday parties, proms. We've had weddings. We truly want people to stay. You know, our goal is to have kids be kids, and we don't want them to miss out on anything if they are at our hospital.
And Marisa, unless you have been through that with, you know, a sick child, those little comforts can go a long way in helping families get through whatever it is they're dealing with while their children are sick and trying to get back out of the hospital.
Absolutely. And, you know, I can speak from personal experience. I have 2 little boys and was fortunate enough to have deliver them right here at the hospital. And I will tell you, just being able to have a warm cup of coffee and an omelet, our cafeteria staff is exceptional. Just those little things just make your experience and stay so much better. And to your point, you know, a lot of times the hospital is a scary place, but we try to make it not scary. You know, we provide those extra comforts. We have our child life specialists who help explain what's going on to children, you know, as they're about to get into surgery or explain what is happening in their stay, because it's a complicated experience.
Marisa Sayre, Assistant Vice President, Marketing, Communications, and Public Relations at WVU Medicine. It is the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon today and tomorrow, supporting WVU Medicine Golisano's Children's. And we made it easy for you. Just go to WVMetroNews.com. We've got a banner right there at the top of the page. You can click to support the work going on in Morgantown and across the WVU Medicine Network. Marisa, thanks so much. Good luck. We'll check in again tomorrow.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll get to some text. We'll wrap up hour number 1. This is Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now?
Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniels Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably Mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. Being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
A couple million could go a long way. The Lotto America jackpot starts at $2 million and grows until someone takes it home. Drawings happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and with 9 ways to win, even the smaller prizes can feel like a big win. Just $1 to play in-store and online, 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. The current jackpot is $2.7 million. Get your chance at manageable millions. 304-TALK 304 is the text line. When the government spends more than it taxes, that surplus money sits in the accounts of individuals and corporations who then spend it through the economy.
No. You're assuming, number one, you don't know where that money's being spent. Secondly, that assumption is also predicated on another assumption, that the government spending, the money that results from that, is being spent on appreciating assets that will have greater value and productivity over time, business ventures, things that grow in value. It's being spent on ordinary consumption. It's like this. Think about it. If you've got your household, you're going to finance your house? Great, because your house is going to appreciate over time. You're not going to be caught in the trap of debt. But if you're financing and putting things on a credit card for consumption or assets that will be eaten alive by depreciation, no. Debt is not your friend. So, no, I don't buy that at all. You get a kick out of this, don't you? Me getting riled up.
We need a blood pressure meter on the side of the screen. Work on that, Jake. Per the national debt, please call a spade a spade. In the 6 years that he has been president, DJT, Donald J. Trump, is responsible for $11.7 trillion of that debt, a 40% increase alone by this self-described businessman. Nobody is denying that. Nobody is denying that Trump has spent like a drunken sailor in his 2 terms, especially in the second term. Nobody's denying that. And in fact, there are a lot of people who have been calling that out as of late as well.
I mean, he spends like a drunken Navy, let alone a sailor.
304 Talk, 304. Texter says, ghetto dog, D-A-W-G. I keep it ghetto. 304 Talk, 304, the text line. TJ, according to my math, at 19, Clinton, a liberal Democrat, was president with a bipartisan cooperation. The debt was paid off. Debt wasn't paid off. The budget was balanced.
Yes.
That's a huge difference. Budget was balanced with the Clinton administration and that Republican Congress.
And I get Clinton his due yesterday. Sure. When we were talking about this. But even Clinton ran deficits in his early years, to be fair.
I believe, on a side note, I think today's his birthday.
Is it?
I think so. Double check that during the break. But look, Bill Clinton, 1996 Bill Clinton, that is a totally different political landscape, totally different Democrat Party. And you know what, TJ, I would say a totally different Republican Party in 1996 versus what we're seeing today.
Yesterday. Turned 80 yesterday.
Well, happy belated birthday, Bill Clinton. Hoppy Kercheval. I have no good transition there. He's coming up next. It's Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel with you here, your latest on a Thursday. Be weather aware yet as I'm timing 3 more chances of rain for the next 3 days. Our best chance and risk of heavy and excessive rain leading to flooding or flash flooding, that'll be today. Flood watches are out in some northern areas of the state, locations like Parkersburg, Clarksburg, Morgantown, the northern panhandle have a flood watch until 2 p.m., but other areas too will have potentially some locally higher amounts of rain, as we have a couple areas of low pressure nearby, an incoming front near stationary at times that interacts with some of the high terrain. So some of the foothills and higher elevations, some locally higher amounts of rain are possible too. There's a broad stroke of a marginal risk for the entire state of excessive rain. That's for local flash flooding. That is a possibility. And then some southeastern areas Friday and Friday night, a marginal risk for tomorrow. Also a marginal risk of some isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds in some eastern areas can't be ruled out later today. We had some very heavy rain last night in areas of Ohio and Indianapolis. This heavy moisture with our slowly moving front near stationary times will take about 2 days to work through the area. Then another cold front on Saturday, then we're in the clear on Sunday. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Areas to our southeast, still some issues with heat and rain and storms. Tampa near 94 today. They had a daily record 97 yesterday. Northern areas, flood watch until 2 p.m. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms later in the afternoon. Isolated damaging winds and flash flooding can't be ruled out. Northern areas, again, cities like Parkersburg, among others, have that flood watch until 2 p.m. For our southern areas, still watching for a risk of excessive rain, too. Showers are likely with that chance of thunderstorms as well. Chance of general thunderstorms Friday, another cold front on Saturday, and then a stretch of some drier weather. How about that? 79 on Sunday, 80 Monday, back up near 86 by Wednesday.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Second hour of MetroNews Talkline in Encova Insurance Studios. David Morgantown. TJ is in Charleston. Joe Nelson is our audio producer today. He's handling the phones as well. And Jake Link is on the video stream. Say good morning once again to all of our great radio affiliates in and around the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you letting us be part of your day. Or if you're watching on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, YouTube, don't forget you can download the Metro News TV app to your mobile device or smart TV. Get access to all of the great offerings from Metro News Television, including a week from today. Hard to believe, but it's here. High school football season will get started with the SSAC Kickoff Classic presented by the Army National Guard. Cameron at Clay Battelle next Thursday. We'll have play-by-play coverage on the Metro News TV app. Download the app right now to your mobile device and smart TV. Say good morning once again to TJ Meadows in the Charleston Bureau. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. A text to the red phone, oblivious to me, I should notice these things, pointed out, we're both representing our alma maters today. Did you pick up on that?
I did actually. We got it all covered.
More observant than me. More observant than me.
I don't know why I didn't mention it. Usually, well, you know why? Because we immediately launched into $40 trillion, and the thought escaped my mind at that point. Yeah, we got everybody represented around here, TJ.
Yeah.
That's why it's a statewide show. Statewide. Speaking of statewide, we'll go to the Eastern Panhandle at the bottom of the hour. Friend of the program, conservative columnist Matt Lewis is going to join us. I've been wanting to get him on for a week now because he talked about 2 of my favorite things, baseball and politics. And then TJ drops a column and he breaks out Reagan and Roosevelt. You have my attention. Teddy Roosevelt, not FDR, by the way. We'll get into all that bottom of the hour with Matt Lewis. Well, if you have been keeping up with politics across the country, you probably already know this. Socialism is having a moment, especially among younger voters across the country. They are very open to the idea, at least of what they think socialism is. Seems to be very palatable. Well, Hoppy Kercheval writes about it this morning at WVMetroNews.com and tries to grind in on the why of that question. Hoppy joins us on Talkline. Hey, Hop, good to talk to you again.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
So you've been an observer of politics for a day or two, to put it mildly. Why is socialism having a moment again?
Well, let's start with the bigger picture, and that is throughout the history of the country, there have always been political shifts. Think about the Christian right and its rise in the 60s and 70s, when millions of conservative Christians got involved politically because they thought that the American culture was changing in ways that threatened their traditional values, and they didn't think that the current political climate, even people of their own party or the Republican Party, were dealing with it, so they became a political force. Think of the rise of Donald Trump. That was fueled by a lot of people feeling dissatisfied with existing institutions, the swamp, believing that the system no longer worked for them. And now you have voters on the left who believe that their own party, and certainly not the Republicans, are addressing the issues that they're worried about: economic inequality, universal health care or the cost of health care, housing affordability, college and student debt. And then you see the polls. There was an Axios Generation Lab poll that found that 68% of Americans under 35, regardless of their level of education, quote, view socialism positively or neutrally. Only 47% have a positive or neutral view of capitalism. So there are these forces at work that are causing this rise. We don't know how much. Democratic socialism that's taking place in this country. And I don't think that most of these people are sitting around reading Karl Marx documents. I think that they are looking at democratic socialism as another potential solution to the problems that they face or believe that they face.
Those numbers are startling that you just quoted, but they don't necessarily give us the why as to what is molding that idea, especially among the younger generation. It would seem that one need only look at Venezuela and other instances of socialism, and they would see a very troubled result. Why do you think we refuse to learn from other people's failures? We're going to have to do it for ourselves to see it doesn't work, so to speak.
Because we don't know the history. We don't know. Again, I don't know, and I don't want to be insulting about this, but I don't know, how do I say this? Are people who are open to the idea of socialism reading or studying any of the histories of socialism? And are they looking to the failures of socialism or looking to the sum of what they believe are successes, like in some of the Norwegian countries that look happier than we are? So I'm not sure that all of this, in fact, I'm confident that much of this is not rooted in a study of what socialism actually is, rather than assigning what you hope that it would be. Our friend Chris Steyerwalt, host of The Hill Sunday on News Nation, said, this is what he said: when we're not getting the stuff we want, we blame capitalism. So some of it's rooted not so much in I'm a socialist or a democratic socialist, but I'm blaming capitalism or giving up on capitalism, our current system, because I'm not getting the stuff I want, or I don't feel like I'm being treated fairly.
Hoppy Kercheval joining us. Hop, how much do you suppose, we're speculating here, but the idea of being anti-establishment, just the idea of being anti-establishment plays into this? You don't want to, Trump, if you will, businessmen, is the establishment right now. Is some of that rooted in that sentiment among the younger voters, the younger crowd?
Well, I think to this, let me. What do politicians, and this is a generalization, what do politicians do when they campaign? They make promises, and they promise all kinds of stuff. What is it that ails you? I can fix that. I'm the answer. And nobody was more indicative of that than Donald Trump. I am the only one who can fix this stuff. Well, no, you're not. And two, that's impossible. You can't fix everything that people are concerned about. So whether it's a Democrat or Republican, I think people, they first buy into that, like, oh, this person's going to fix the stuff that I'm worried about, that concerns me. And then when they can't deliver, which they can't deliver everything or fix everybody's problems, or don't deliver, and we become disillusioned and we look somewhere else. And Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, they had their chance to fix my stuff. Donald Trump's had a chance to fix my stuff. Now I look at the price of gas, the price of college, and I look at what it was. And so you look for something else. And maybe a lot of people land on this democratic socialism and say, hey, that kind of looks good. That looks like a different alternative. And so I think that's a big part of what's going on here. Again, rather than a true deep dive into what socialism actually is and the pros and cons. And by the way, I'm a capitalist. I'm a capitalist, and I believe that capitalism is the most effective and efficient way to distribute scarce resources and to reward people for innovation and hard work. But I'm making these observations about democratic socialism right now.
Well, you are a capitalist. I've known you for a number of years. You're definitely a capitalist. I was going to ask you another question, just see if you thought it would hold water. But instead of that, I mean, if you want to just get into the debt and how a good capitalist doesn't like the national debt, you're welcome to go there too.
Well, I'll tell you this. I am 71 years old. When I was 56, what was that, 25 years ago? The national debt was $5.8 trillion. $5.8 trillion. And now it's bordering on $40 trillion. And TJ, you've been like a lot of people, not enough people, and myself included, going, how long can we do this before something happens? And it's becoming alarming, and the reason nothing has been done is for two reasons. One is that you would have to make difficult decisions, and politicians don't want to make difficult decisions. And the second reason is that most people don't see it affecting their daily lives. If because of higher interest rates on the debt, suddenly your home mortgage interest rate was 15 or 20%, people would be concerned. People would be tuned in. If your credit card debt went up even more than it is, people would be concerned. But if you don't see a daily impact, it's just a number. And that's a problem. That's a problem for those who think this needs to be addressed.
And I speculated early when TJ and I were talking about this, your parents remembered, and of course, certainly your grandparents, went through the Great Depression. They remembered what it was like to do without. We have no idea, Hop. We have no idea what it would be like if the stock market crashed tomorrow. If China called us on the debt, the whole thing fell apart. We have no frame of reference for that. And like you said, it's just this abstract number that's floating out there that, gets TJ's blood pressure boiling.
Yeah, well, understandably. I don't know. I mean, I've written and talked about that for years, as a lot of people have. So I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens, only that it can't continue, right? I mean, how can it continue? And I think about every year, what do we pay on the interest on the debt? Like $700 billion or something?
Now over $1 trillion, Hop.
Over $1 trillion. I mean, think about that. And we all know what interest on debt is. I mean, it's just lost money. So what could you do with that money? And who has the upper hand on that politically? I mean, Republicans, I thought they were budget conscious, but they're not. And Pete Hegseth wants to increase the Defense Department budget to $1.5 trillion and increase it by 45%. So they're spending like drunken sailors, all due respect to drunken sailors. Democrats have it. So what? Who does something? Who does something about it?
I don't know. I've opined enough on it. I'm going to leave it alone before I have an aneurysm. Let's shift gears. Jim Justice appears to have settled the Greenbrier issue and can move forward if he wants. Age-old question, will he run, will he not? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that he was, my belief is, before he wanted to make any political decision, he's not up till 2030. Before he would make any serious political decision, it was about getting this Greenbrier stuff behind him. Now with Jim Justice, always seems there's another shoe to drop. But for now, it seems pretty well settled. So now he can start thinking about what's next. I believe he is seriously considering running for another term as governor in 2028. He liked being governor, right? You all remember that. And for governors going to the U.S. Senate, like Joe Manchin or for Jim Justice, it's like when some of us joined the gym at the start of the new year. I mean, at first we're all excited, and we go, and this is great, we're feeling great. And after a couple of weeks, we go, I think I'll just stay home today. So I think I think it's an honor, but I think it wears off, and you realize that you really can't do as much as you did on a day-to-day basis as governor. A governor in West Virginia is powerful. You're the CEO. You can do stuff. And as a U.S. Senator, what, are you going to spend a year and a half or 2 years working on a piece of legislation? I just don't think that fits Justice's style. So, bottom line, yeah, I think he's seriously considering coming back. And look, he could run as a senator. He would not have to give up his term. I think he's seriously considering coming back and running as governor in 2028. And by the way, he and Morrisey aren't best pals. Mm-hmm. So I don't think he'd have any problem running against Patrick Morrisey if Morrisey ran for re-election.
Breaking news from Hoppy Kercheval. Senator Justice and Governor Morrisey are not best pals.
Not besties. No, not at all.
You know, I always compare it, and yeah, I say this fully understanding the current coaching situation here in Morgantown. The second version, the sequel, when you bring an old coach back, not always as great as the first time around. So I always caution, it may sound like a good idea, may not work out the way you thought it did. And I understand what I'm saying, but be careful what you wish for all the way around.
I get it. I understand. You may want to pass along that wisdom to Senator Justice next time you see him. See how that goes.
Well, I think.
Well, go ahead.
I was just going to say, does Justice clear the deck, though, Hoppy? Because I think if Justice decides to run against Morrisey, these other names, Pack has already said he won't run if Justice runs. But you hear Warner, and there are other names floating out there. I think Justice clears the deck, though. I don't think any of those other individuals get in if it's Justice v. Morrisey.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you don't know, but I would think that Justice clears the deck if it's Justice v. Morrisey. One thing is that to think about, and you guys have talked about this a lot, is that Justice fares a lot better. Well, Morrisey fares better as long as the current closed primary remains in place. But if somehow the primary were reopened by the Republicans to include independents, that helps Justice. So you would, I don't know if there would be a concerted effort, but it helps Morrisey if the primary remains closed. It helps Justice if it's reopened to independents.
He's Hoppy Kercheval. You can, of course, read his commentary over at the website, wvmetronews.com. New three guys out, Hop, for the week. You ready for football season?
Yeah. I mean, it's here. We recorded one, I think, when was it? Yesterday. What's today? The other, semi-retired guy. You never know what day it is. But yeah, I mean, it's here. It's amazing. Summer's over. Students are back in class. Time for football. High school football, as you said, starts next week. Yep. Ready for college football. It's here. Good.
Hoppy Kercheval. WVMetroNews.com. Read his commentary. Always appreciate it, Hop. Thank you much.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Absolutely. Get some texts. Come on back. Matt Lewis joins us bottom of the hour. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZMM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZMM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season. The 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
At Daniels Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniels is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in-store at Daniels.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
.304 Talk 304, that is the text line, and oh, do we have some text to get to. But first, at WVU Medicine Golisano Children's, pediatric primary care is never far away. Our pediatricians are here for everything your child needs. Whether it's a well child or unexpected visit, you have local, convenient access to our expert pediatric primary care team. Visit WVUkids.com to schedule an appointment. Here we go, 304 Talk 304. Dave and TJ, we're all socialists. TJ, Dave, Hoppy, me, we're all socialists. The only difference is where you want the money to go. If you want it to go to schools, buses, and water pipes, you all want it to go to oligarchs and subsidies for Trump's family members to buy the Lakers, says the texter.
Oligarchs. Nice.
The DSA is getting popular because the way the capitalist economy is set up isn't working for a large majority of the country. I'd argue it's working for 10%, maybe even less. No one likes paying more for things as that money goes toward yachts and lighting cigars. And no one likes that billionaires are buying up politicians who then vote to make the government worse, says the texter. Capitalism does nothing for us if we continue to allow companies like BlackRock to buy up all our homes, jacking up the prices. Capitalism does nothing for us if the average price of vehicles continues to rise about $50,000. Capitalism does nothing for us if we continue to live in a debt society.
Respectfully, who are you to tell someone they shouldn't sell their home to BlackRock? If you don't want a $50,000 car, don't buy one. That's the problem. The individual and their ability to make a decision is somehow being on the back burner to all these corporate non-goods in people's opinion. These bad entities. Well, okay, fine, but who are we to tell someone, Dave? If you want to sell your house to whoever, who am I to tell you can't do it?
Nobody. I mean,
you get what you get.
You get an argument up. I'm not going to argue with you.
No. I'm just saying. Yeah.
To your point, we have everything we have. Now, am I saying capitalism perfect? Well, no, because human beings are involved. We're all flawed.
Yep. There you go.
But we have everything. We owe everything to capitalism. There is no incentive to innovate in a socialist society. Why? What's the reason? What's my incentive? What's my incentive to invent the iPhone? What's my incentive to take a product and improve that product, develop a new product, or develop a new service, fill a niche market? Well, it's because I want paid. It's the only system where you can grow up in McDowell County. You can grow up in Canova, West Virginia, and become the president of a multi-billion-dollar international company. And you can only do it in capitalism.
I'm with you when you're right, brother.
Didn't mean to get on that soapbox today, but here we are. Matt Lewis is going to join us. Reagan, Roosevelt, baseball, politics, Chevrolet, apple pie. We'll get into all of it coming up next. 800-765-TALK, the phone number. 304-TALK, 304, the text line. Dave and TJ in the Encova Insurance Studios. This is Talkline on Metro News. Metro News is the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30. Let's get a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Solango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel with you here, your latest on a Thursday. Be weather aware yet as I'm timing 3 more chances of rain for the next 3 days. Our best chance and risk of heavy and excessive rain leading to flooding or flash flooding, that'll be today. Flood watches are out in some northern areas of the state, locations like Parkersburg, Clarksburg, Morgantown, the northern panhandle of a flood watch until 2 p.m. But other areas, too, will have potentially some locally higher amounts of rain, as we have a couple areas of low pressure nearby, an incoming front near stationary at times that interacts with some of the high terrain. So some of the foothills and higher elevations, some locally higher amounts of rain are possible, too. There's a broad stroke of a marginal risk for the entire state of excessive rain. That's for local flash flooding. That is a possibility. And then some southeastern areas Friday and Friday night, a marginal risk for tomorrow. Also a marginal risk of some isolated severe storms, isolated damaging winds in some eastern areas can't be ruled out later today. We had some very heavy rain last night in areas of Ohio and Indianapolis. This heavy moisture with our slowly moving front near stationary times will take about 2 days to work through the area. Then another cold front on Saturday, then we're in the clear on Sunday. Fly Super forecast, it starts at home. Areas to our southeast, still some issues with heat and rain and storms. Tampa near 94 today. They had a daily record 97 yesterday. Northern areas, flood watch until 2 p.m. Eastern areas, chance of showers and storms later in the afternoon. Isolated damaging winds and flash flooding can't be ruled out. Northern areas, again, cities like Parkersburg, among others, have that flood watch until 2 p.m. For our southern areas, still watching for a risk of excessive rain, too. Showers are likely with that chance of thunderstorms as well. Chance of general thunderstorms Friday, another cold front on Saturday, and then a stretch of some drier weather. How about that? 79 on Sunday, 80 Monday, back up near 86 by Wednesday.
This is Ben Solango with Solango Law. Solango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Solango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Solango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at solangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy. You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom? You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody. Hey, Coop,
I'm just
what's up?
watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
More of your text coming up. 304-TALK, 304-800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255 is the phone number. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. Now is the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust, perfect for working from home, streaming, gaming, or running your business. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, citynet.net. Connects, protects, and perfects. Matt Lewis is the author of Filthy Rich Politicians and Too Dumb to Fail. He's also the host of the Matt Lewis Can't Lose podcast and YouTube channel. He's a co-host of the DMZ podcast. He is a conservative columnist. You can find his work all over the place. And he's a friend of the show. He joins us on MetroNews Talkline this morning. Matt, good morning. Good to talk to you again. It's been a while.
It has been a while. Good to be back.
Glad you could join us. Boy, you got baseball, politics, Reagan, Roosevelt. We got a lot to jump into. You piqued my interest last week. As a long-suffering Cincinnati Reds fan here, I can relate to your struggles in Baltimore, Matt. Although you're in the wild card race, I just want to point that out. But so how did you come to baseball and politics, and what's the connection here?
Well, I'm always, when you cover politics every day for years, you find you start to see politics in everything. But I am a big, longtime Baltimore Orioles fan, which has been, they won the World Series when I was 9 years old, and I thought we were going to win every year, and we haven't been back. So they sucked me into a lifetime of fandom, and it's been a lot of disappointment, including last night against the Yankees, I should add. But look, I really took another gut punch the other week when the trade deadline happened and Adley Rutschman was dealt to the Boston Red Sox, the hated rival, same division, same league, rival Boston Red Sox. And, I started looking around, and it turns out it's not just small market teams like Baltimore who are losing their players, but what happens during these trade deadlines is that the rich teams, the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, those teams tend to do really well. And the Dodgers, in fact, picked up a two-time Cy Young Award winner during the trade deadline, which I'm sure will help them come the playoffs and probably another World Series victory. So I started asking myself, is this fair? Is this good for baseball? Because I do think there's a lot of parity in baseball in the sense that everybody can kind of think their team might make the playoffs. I mean, heck, the Orioles are under 500 and they're in possession of a wild card spot the last time I looked. So the problem isn't getting into the playoffs. The problem is that the Dodgers keep winning every World Series. And I do think for baseball to be healthy, there has to be a belief that next year your team, you could at least dream that you could make it. And I do see a parallel there with the American dream. I think for America to work to fend off socialism, for example, it's very important that every poor person in America, and certainly every little kid, can believe he can grow up to be president and that he could be rich someday. And for many years, we had that dream. Even if you were poor, you could have that big, nice house, just like the rich guy in your neighborhood. And I think it's getting harder to maintain that dream, and that's a problem.
Matt, is it a question of a subjective nature? You talk about rich. Well, I mean, we have more millionaires than we've ever had in America at any given time. We've had more billionaires than we've ever had. Is it a matter of understanding what rich is to one person versus another, versus just the envy of, I'm going to hate the billionaire class or the oligarch class, as is often said here on our text chat? How do we distinguish between what it really is to make it?
Well, I think there's a few things at play there. One, I think obviously there's inflation. So even though there's more millionaires than there used to be, how far does your dollar go? You have to make a lot more money to just keep pace. Then I do think some of it is subject to we it's just human nature that we don't judge ourselves by how good, how were we 10 years ago, or how are we doing compared to other people? You know, every American has at least one TV. Almost every American can afford air conditioning. These are luxuries that the richest people once upon a time didn't have, or you couldn't even buy, because some of these innovations maybe didn't even exist, right? And so there's we compare ourselves to others. And I do think social media, like things like Instagram, have made it harder because we're always comparing ourselves to people who have more than we do. And there is a bit of envy, and that's obviously like a sin. I do think, however, that things like home ownership. Now, look, our houses are bigger than they used to be. So again, it gets a little bit messy, a little bit fuzzy. But in general, I do think that there used to be a sense that your kids would do better than you would. Mm-hmm. And I think that's gone. And now things like AI are giving us even more sort of problems, because, you know, what will that do? Not only could it take our jobs, but when our jobs go, then so does a bit of our humanity, a bit of our purpose and meaning in life. And so we are in a place right now where I don't think we can just dismiss this as sort of spoiled, envious people. That I do think there is something serious and problematic here having to do with the American dream.
And the result, and we were just talking to Hoppy Kercheval kind of about this same subject, Matt. If you're 22 years old, 23, 24, you've got a college degree in hand, and you look at the landscape and go, yeah, but I've got $100,000 in debt from college, you know, a 3-bedroom house is $500,000. If I can even find a job, you look around and go, this isn't working for me. Where do you turn? Well, maybe you do look at the idea of socialism, democratic socialism, whatever you want to call it, and go, well, maybe that will work because this isn't working for me at this point.
Totally. Look, we can talk all day long about how blessed we are, and we are very blessed. And we have a lot of privileges in this country, both in terms of freedom and prosperity. But that person you just described, there are a lot of those people out there, an increasing number of them. And you can tell them all you want about how great the air conditioning is, or the TV. But if they can't find a job, they're not going to be able to probably get a girlfriend either. They're not going to probably be able to get married. The idea of owning a home doesn't exist. And for that person, and once that happens, we now enter into a danger zone, right? That's somebody who doesn't have a lot to live for, who doesn't have a lot to lose, who's not really invested in the system. And I think capitalism and liberal democracy requires people to, you know, if you own a home, if you have kids, well, now you're part of the community. Now you care about your community because you've got skin in the game, so to speak. You don't, if you're sort of just this, you know, individual out there floating around, not necessarily tied to your community, not, you know, not married, not invested, doesn't own property. Those things can lead to some negative externalities, and ultimately, you could really give up on the American dream and say, well, this system no longer serves my needs. It has failed us. Let's try something more radical. And I do think that is partly responsible for the rise of democratic socialism, which is very clearly becoming more popular in certain segments of the population.
A few years back, Matt, still in the private sector, I had a real wake-up call in that I did not understand what motivated young people of the day. I'm talking about recent college graduates. We were paying more. We were offering more vacation. We were offering a higher standard of benefit than our competitor, yet we were losing talent to our competitor. You know what it turned out to be? They had an outdoor basketball court, and the kids were going there. They played basketball at lunch and I'm like, I still have trouble getting that through my mind. But it taught me one heck of a lesson. I don't know that today we understand what the American dream is for many of these youngsters. I think they clearly value time more than they value money. I think many of them are willing to forego the McMansion for the nice cottage or the nice house or whatever it may be, because that's their version of the American dream, having more leisure time, having more free time with family. I know a lot of people, younger talent, that said, I don't want to work 40 hours a week. I'm looking to work 30, or I'm looking to work 25, and I'll live that life according. So I wonder to what extent, if any at all, our inability as older generations, especially the baby boomers now, to not understand what is motivating the youth of this country somehow has led to their belief that a socialistic economic system would allow what they value as compared to just money and what you make. If they believe, and I think incorrectly, but if they believe that economic system would prioritize what they value over what the older generations that are kind of running the show value today.
Yeah, look, I think it's important to consider different people have different values and priorities. And I can tell you personally, I'm not young anymore, but I have, like I work from my home and I get to take my kids to soccer practice in school. And I could probably be a more prominent writer, public, opinion leader, whatever, if I lived in DC still and worked at an office every day and traveled more. But I've made spending time with my family and having a more balanced life a priority, and I'm happy with it. And so I'm not, someone may say that's irrational, like if you're just after the profit motive. I also think there are things that really matter a lot, like experiences, community. I mean, playing basketball isn't just about playing basketball. It's partly about exercise and fresh air, maybe, but it's really about friendship and community. Things that people really. These are deep-seated human needs that we don't get enough of anymore. And so I do think smart business leaders would be smart to keep that in mind when it comes to attracting talent. But look, I am a conservative-leaning, patriotic American, and I think that socialism is a bad thing that actually can stifle human flourishing. I know that. You guys probably know that. Some of these young people don't know that. And part of the reason is that it's been so long. We've gone so long since, the worst examples and the gulags in the Soviet Union. And I don't want to conflate social democrats with, Stalin or something like that, but there is a slippery slope, and certain ideologies eventually will take you down certain roads and skew have certain proclivities. So I am against this trend of democratic socialism, and certainly against socialism, and certainly against communism. But I get why some young people today are intrigued by it.
Matt Lewis is joining us. He's author of Filthy Rich Politicians, Too Dumb to Fail, host of the podcast that Matt Lewis Can't Lose. Let's see if we can connect the dots to your piece this week that Republicans maybe need to take a look at Teddy Roosevelt as a hero. And, Ronald Reagan is so 1984. Why Roosevelt? Why should Republicans take a look at him if they're going to maybe stymie some of this tide?
Well, my theory is that, great presidents usually come along during times of crisis or times of dramatic upheaval, technological, cultural, social upheaval. And they emerge and they rise to the occasion. And so Ronald Reagan comes along in 1980. And yeah, there were some comparisons to today. Iran was an issue in 1980. So was inflation. But generally speaking, the problems that plagued us in 1980 were very different. So we think about the malaise of the 1970s, the problems that Reagan confronted, very different, I would say, than what we're facing today. So I started thinking, what are our problems today? And to me, I think one of the big problems is what we've been talking about, this sense that these sort of broligarchs, these tech billionaires, the people like Elon Musk have emerged with their AI and their flock cameras and their data centers and their algorithms and their social media platforms spreading propaganda or conversely censoring our free speech. And I didn't sign up for this. I didn't invite this into my life, but this has dramatically changed. We talk about whether it's surveillance, whether it's the free market, the free market of ideas. There's so many components where now I think you could argue these big tech broligarchs really are more important to our lives than the state. They have more control or more potential to disrupt and control our lives than even big government does. And so I start thinking, historically, if we're looking for a model, someone who's taken on something like this, who would it be? And I think it's Theodore Roosevelt. I think it goes back to coming out of the Gilded Age, where you had all of this income inequality, all these like rich businesses and monopolies. And this traitor to his class, this Rough Rider, comes into the arena. And what does he do? You know, he takes on food, you know, reading the Upton Sinclair's book, The Jungle, and he takes on the cause of you know, making sure our food and our drugs are healthy that we're using. He goes after these big business monopolies and the railroads, and he breaks them up, and he basically puts them in line. Now, Theodore Roosevelt's not a socialist. He rails against socialism. He's a capitalist. He's a Republican, but he's also progressive. And he's a rich guy who's willing to go after big business in a way that I think the current rich guy in office right now is not willing to do. And so that was sort of the premise of this piece. And I think so far it's gotten a pretty good reception.
Matt, we're going to have to leave it there, although we could probably do another hour and a half, maybe 2 hours on the subject. Hey, Matt Lewis, author of Filthy Rich Politicians, Too Dumb to Fail. He's also host of the Matt Lewis Can't Lose podcast. You can watch that on YouTube, co-host of the DMZ podcast as well. Matt, good to talk to you again. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Take a break. We'll be back. This is Talkline from the Encove Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. We've discounted over 100 pre-owned vehicles this month, most of which are local one-owner trades. Great deals on all our Toyota trucks, and with over 90 in stock, now is the time to get yours. From our family to yours, we want to thank you for all the support over 23 years. Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Touchdown!
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
We did it again. We went long, but we enjoyed the conversation there with Matt Lewis. Been a while. We got to have him back more often. 304-TALK. 304 is the text line. 800-765-8255 is the phone number. A couple million could go a long way. The Lotto America jackpot starts at $2 million and grows until someone takes it home. Drawings happen every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. And with 9 ways to win, even the smaller prizes can feel like a big win. Just $1 to play. Play in store and online. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Current jackpot is $2.7 million. Get your chance at manageable millions. Take the final break. Back to wrap things up. Maybe squeeze in a text or two. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
It's our 23rd anniversary, and to celebrate, we're having a huge anniversary sale all month long on all Toyota trucks and pre-owned vehicles. Thank you for 23 years, Dan Cava, Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
At Daniels Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniels is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniels.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
304-TALK, 304. A couple of quick texts. Teddy was okay, but I lean more toward the other Roosevelts. Is Americans flourishing moral and ethical even though it comes at the expense of slave labor? There's no slave labor. Democratic Party is grasping for straws in adopting the Socialist Party policies. The American citizens are too smart to accept a failed and harmful ideology. Dave and TJ, the real problem affecting Trump's economy is the runaway inflation and the national debt. The dollar has lost its buying power. Action must be taken immediately. Cut government spending in half and add a 1% sales tax that goes straight to pay off the debt. Finally, a balanced budget that also reduces the deficit every year. Let's go, says the texter.
It'd be better than the dollar losing its status as the world's reserve currency.
Description of socialism and capitalism, juvenile and misleading. Drop the Fox News stupidity and pay attention to the Scandinavian and Canada for health care. Properly managed socialist programs like Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security have saved millions, many millions, from poverty and ignoramus death. Venezuela, Russia, and Cuba are communist-style dictatorships as the Republicans are leading us toward, says the texter.
Yeah, a lot of people going to Johns Hopkins, Canada for life-saving surgery.
Follow the news of the day over at the website, WVMetroNews.com. Don't forget about the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon, benefiting WV Medicine Golisano's Children's. Go to the website, WVMetroNews.com. Steam release tomorrow. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.